Bonjour à tous, bonjour à toutes. Ici Asmaa Coppery et je viens aujourd'hui avec un épisode assez spécial. C'est un sujet qui me passionne énormément et qui est l'amour. Ça va être très passionnant. On va apprendre beaucoup de choses et moi aussi. Parce que bon, j'ai fait quelques recherches et il s'avère que l'amour, c'est pas vraiment facile, hein. I hope you're doing well and that you had a really good weekend. I know I did. I was a little bit busy with work over the weekend. I know it's crazy, but you know what it is. Um, but I was thinking about this subject, so that's why I was like, I need to do some research. And it's about different attachment styles and how to heal your past trauma. So let me kind of start a little bit. Um, there's a lot of different attachment styles, specifically in romantic relationships. And in order to define them and grow with them, we need to create a safe space and peaceful space for our partner, for us, but also for our partner in this relationship. You need to know what's your attachment style because it plays a significant role in the success or failure of your relationship. So when I was preparing this podcast, I was kind of wondering what are the thoughts of people who are listening, so you guys, on different types of attachment styles and how do you think the perfect partner is for you and how to grow in a relationship. So let me read you some answers that I got. So this is what I had. I had someone who said, I love a person's heart and how they treat people. So this is someone who is talking about the ideal partner for them. I have someone else who said, I love them because when we are together, we are our authentic selves and life is joyful. This person is talking about, again, the ideal partner, but I think that she is talking about her partner. And I really love that. How in order to be in a healthy relationship and a vulnerable relationship, you need to be authentic with yourself, authentic with your partner, and you need to be authentic within this relationship as a whole. And life can be such a bliss. Then I had someone else who was asking, what does it mean to have an attachment style? What do you mean when you say attachment style? So this is going to be the subject of today's. And then lastly, I'm gonna read one last one. I had someone who said at the beginning it was anxious attachment, and it was really hard. Then I had to learn with the time to take more distance in the relationship to find myself again. And I think this is beautiful because, especially if you have an anxious attachment style, you tend sometimes to lose yourself in that relationship. I would like to thank everyone who responded to my Q&A, and as promised, it's going to be anonymous. Okay, so before I start, I just wanted to say that it's 9 p.m. and I'm drinking coffee. Don't ask me why, I don't know what I'm doing. I wanted to have an iced coffee and I was already in the process of making it, and it was too late to not drink it and waste a nice cup of coffee. So here I am, 9 p.m., drinking my iced coffee, who's not iced anymore because all the ice cubes melted. Okay, so first, let's define what attachment styles they are. Attachment styles are the patterns of behavior that we develop in a childhood that shape how we form relationships throughout our lives. So, as you know, or as you may not know, there are four main attachment styles. We have anxious, we have avoidant, we have secure, and we have disorganized. So let's start first with anxious attachment style. An anxious attachment style is when someone feels insecure, constantly seeking reassurance, and is worried about their partner leaving them. Avoided attachment style is when someone is emotionally distant, avoids intimacy, and struggles to trust others. Then we have the best one, or like this, the perfect attachment style is the secure attachment style. And this is when someone is confident in themselves and their relationship and is comfortable with intimacy and vulnerability. I'm struggling with this word. With the vulnerability. Then, lastly, we have disorganized attachment style. And this is when someone has inconsistent behavior in relationships, often feeling confused and overwhelmed in their relationship. So now I just talked about the four attachment styles we have. So let's play a little game on how each attachment style would think. And maybe this will help you kind of relate and define which attachment style you have if it's still a little bit confusing for you. Okay, so first we have the secure attachment style. And the person who is in a secure attachment who have a secure attachment style, this is what they would say. I convey my feelings comfortably and honestly. I can manage my emotions really well, and I do not have fear of abandonment. Then we have someone who got an anxious attachment style, and this is what they would think to themselves, and this is what they would say. I constantly feel alone, and this often leads me to thinking that nobody cares about me. I want people to pay attention to me. Then we have the avoidant attachment style, and this is what they would tell themselves. I am self sufficient, and emotional connections are unnecessary for me. I am fine all by my own. Lastly, we have the disorganized attachment style. And this is what they would say. They would say that I can hardly trust anyone. I better not. Based on my past experiences, it's best for me to stay away as I don't want to fall in that pit again. Hopefully, this kind of helped. I think it's okay. If I'm going to define what is my attachment style, I would say that mine is um I'm still trying to think, but okay, I'm just gonna say it. Mine is anxious attachment style, but what you should know is that a certain attachment style does not define who you are as a person because it's not your personality. You may ask why. It's because you can work on your attachment style. I had an anxious attachment style, but I'm still working on it. I am getting better. I don't have a set goal, but my goal is to kind of be less anxious and kind of hover over the secure one. But what you should know is that we all have different attachment styles, but we at the same time we can have them all. But um, it's just a matter of percentage. So you can be anxious. You can have an anxious attachment style at the same time as secure or disorganized. It's usually a mix of all, and it depends on how you work on it and your past trauma, if I can say. But it's okay. We are here to listen to each other, and we're not here to judge one another. It's your safe space. And speaking of safe space, let's try to do a little fun game here. Let's talk about how to be each other's safe space and peace. I really love this sentence because when you are in a relationship, whether it's romantic or it's just a friendship or like a family relationship, it's always nice to have someone who you can call your safe space or you can call your peace. And in all relationships, this is very, very important to have so that you can be vulnerable with that person and you could also be vulnerable in your own skin. And it means that it's even easier for you to be open, you know. So one key aspect is communication, and it's really important to have open and honest communication with your partner, letting them know your needs and concerns. When we are vulnerable and honest, we allow our partners to do the same for us. Another crucial aspect is understanding and compassion. It's really essential to understand that everyone has different attachment styles and that's not a reflection of their love for you. By showing compassion and empathy towards your partner, you are creating a safe space for them to be vulnerable and open in this relationship. Okay, so now we can understand that there is very, very, very important to communicate, to be compassion, to have compassion in a relationship, and understand it in order to be vulnerable. If you are not vulnerable and if you don't feel comfortable being vulnerable in your relationship, trust me, there's no way it's gonna work. It can last a few months, but trust me, it's a red flag if I can say. If you're not vulnerable and if you don't feel comfortable with that person, trust me, it's not gonna work on the long term. If you're looking, okay, let me just hear me out. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, this is very important. If this is not your goal and your goal is not really to be in a long-term relationship, um, this might work. But again, it's up to you to know what you're looking for in a relationship. I know people who are comfortable on jumping from relationship to another one, and I know other people like for example, if I'm gonna speak for myself, I don't feel comfortable jumping from a relationship to another one because if I am in a relationship, I need to create a safe space for me and for my partner. And in order to do that, if I'm going to be vulnerable, I need to feel at peace. I need to feel understood, and it's like a contract actually, because you're building something with someone, and if they're gonna see your true colors and if they're gonna accept you as you are as a person, then yeah, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a little bit difficult because it means that you kind of need to sacrifice some things that you do. You need to be open. You need to communicate. Communication is not my forte, but I'm working on it every day, every single day, and especially standing up for myself and speaking out for myself. So, yeah, it's a journey and it's a choice. So, yeah, so this is for me. This is for me what a relationship would look like. Okay, so now let's talk about healing our past wounds. So many of us have experienced trauma or hurt in past relationships or childhood, which can affect our attachment styles. And it's really important to seek therapy or counseling to work through these issues to prevent them from impacting our current relationships. We hear all the time past trauma, or like this is trauma, or like I was hurt in my previous relationship or relationships. I was in a toxic relationship. My inner child is broken or something like that. But if you keep saying that without trying to fix the problem here, and you try to jump into